Alaskan Airlines miles are a lot better than many people realize. You may be someone who lives on the East Coast of the US and you're thinking to yourself, why would I want to earn Alaskan Airlines miles? I never fly to Alaska, and I rarely ever fly to the West Coast of the US, so it doesn't make much sense for me to get Alaska miles. And on the surface, that sounds like it makes sense, because if you're someone who lives in, say, Miami or New York, you probably rarely ever see an Alaskan Airlines aircraft at your home airport. But don't be fooled by the name Alaska Miles, because they are a lot more powerful than you realize, and they can do way more things than just fly to Alaska or the West Coast of the US. And as of recording this video, there's currently a backdoor way to transfer over your American Express membership reward points to your Alaskan Airlines account that I think a lot of people are going to want to take advantage of due to the fact of how much of a benefit you can get from doing so. Now, it is true that Alaskan Airlines does predominantly fly on the West Coast of the US. They fly to Seattle, San Fran, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and of course, Alaska. But they also fly outside of the West Coast of the US, flying to Texas, they fly to Dulles from San Diego, and they fly to Atlanta from Seattle. Alaskan Airlines is actually the fifth largest airline in the US, behind Southwest and the big three being United, American Airlines, and Delta. Alaskan Airlines a few years ago joined the One World Alliance, which is where they're going to be shining if you want to be redeeming Alaskan Airlines miles to travel around the United States. Now, I know that there's a few of you who are more advanced who already know this information, but for those of you who don't know how partner award bookings work, it goes like this. When an airline that is part of an alliance opens up award availability to its partners, what this allows you to do if you happen to have miles with the partner airline is to be able to redeem those miles to be able to fly on that airline's aircraft. Meaning, if you happen to be living in Philadelphia and American Airlines, who's one of the founding members of the One World Alliance, releases award availability to its partners, then you can redeem your Alaskan Airlines miles to be able to book an American Airlines flight. So yes, you would be redeeming Alaskan Airlines miles, but you could be flying on an American Airlines aircraft. American Airlines won't release all of their seats to their partners, but when they do release their seats to their partners, there's a few reasons why you'd want this to happen. First reason is that you may not have any American Airlines miles, so if you end up having miles with one of the different One World partners, well, this can end up being great to be able to book an American Airlines flight without actually having American Airlines miles. Another reason is that American Airlines may end up charging more than what they're asking for from the partner airlines, meaning that there are instances where American Airlines may be charging 50,000 of their own miles to be able to book a flight. However, they might ask for their partners, such as like Alaskan Airlines, only 30,000 to book the exact same seat on the exact same flight. Getting the best points and miles deals really just comes down to being flexible. So if you can be flexible by just 1 to 2 days for a trip that you're looking to take, then you may be able to find award availability redeeming something like Alaskan Airlines miles for an American Airlines flight that can end up being a really good deal. American Airlines works on dynamic pricing for their own flights, so sometimes they will have flight deals where they will charge less than what Alaskan Airlines is charging, but then in other instances, they'll charge quite a bit more. And as I said at the top of this video, there's currently a backdoor way to get Alaskan Airlines miles with American Express that can't be done to earn American Airlines miles. So because of this, getting Alaskan Airlines miles is way easier, and also, in many instances, the deal is better than what American Airlines is charging. So if you're someone who likes to fly with American Airlines, or that's typically the airline that you fly with the most, then it may end up making more sense to get Alaskan Airlines miles as compared to American Airlines miles. I'm going to go over a little bit later on in the video the backdoor way of transferring over your American Express membership reward points to your Alaskan Airlines account. What makes Alaska miles so great is the fact that they work off an award chart. Now, I liked the older award chart that they used to have because of the fact that there were so many different places where you get outsized value. The new award chart does still allow you to get outsized value, but I think where the new award chart works better is that if you're someone who's not more advanced when it comes to finding award availability, you can still take great advantage of how the new award chart works with Alaskan Airlines miles as compared to the old one. And I think that the best sweet spots with the new award chart ends up being for short haul flights. Now, while I may be someone who wants to fly over to Japan and then sip on sake while staring at Mount Fuji, there's a lot of people who just want to escape the cold of the Northeast down to Florida and sip on some pina coladas. And if that ends up being you, well, Alaska miles are going to end up being way better the way they are now as compared to the way they were a couple of years ago. Here's Alaskan Airlines' new award chart. As you can see, it's broken up into different parts of the world. If you were flying within the Americas, the least amount of Alaskan Airlines miles you would end up using would be 4,500 miles with a distance base of under 700 miles flown. And the most you would spend on an economy flight would be 30,000 Alaskan Airlines miles, and this would be for a distance base of 6,000 plus miles, which would only end up being if you were flying down to South America, due to the fact that flying from Boston to Honolulu is only a little bit over 5,000 miles. The sweet spot, in my opinion, is the distance span under 1,400 miles. It would cost you 7,500 miles in economy and 15,000 miles in business class. Now, when it says business class within the Americas, it really means domestic first class, so don't be expecting any type of lay flat bed. But the reason why I find this to be the sweet spot is because there's so many major cities you can get to under 1,400 miles. You could go from New York to Miami, which is under 1,400 miles. You could go from Los Angeles to Austin, which is also under 1,400 miles. So if you wanted to fly round trip in economy, it would only end up being 15,000 Alaskan Airlines miles. And if you wanted to fly round trip in business class, which is really domestic first class, it only ended up being 30,000 Alaskan Airlines miles. A flight from Austin to Los Angeles is a little bit over 3 hours. So round trip in domestic first class for almost 7 hours of flying would only end up being 30,000 points. That's a pretty good deal. Now, some people don't feel the need to spend the additional miles to be the Mr. Fancy Pants in the front of the plane, but we do encourage it here on this channel. You still could book the economy flight for only 7,500 miles, but you would have to do the math to make sure that it makes sense, because there would be instances where you may end up only getting 1 cent per point. And in that instance, you would want to just use a card if you had, say, the Chase Sapphire Preferred or the Chase Sapphire Reserves travel portal, because not only would you end up getting a better deal when it comes to cents per point, but you also would end up earning miles when you end up using the travel portal, as compared to if you're redeeming miles, you don't earn any miles in that instance. Now, on these domestic flights, you'd be redeeming Alaskan Airlines miles to fly on an American Airlines aircraft. And if you actually want to fly on a true domestic business class flight, where it would end up being lay flat, you do have that option with redeeming Alaskan Airlines miles for an American Airlines flight. It would just have to be transcontinental from, say, Boston over to Los Angeles. And if you could find the award availability, it only ended up being 35,000 Alaskan Airlines miles. Now, I've flown this flight before multiple times, and in some instances, I have noticed that American Airlines does charge less than 35,000 miles. But I feel like more often than not, American Airlines is charging more than what Alaskan Airlines is charging for this exact route. So on a consistent basis, I don't think that there is a cheaper way to travel across the US with a business class seat than redeeming Alaskan Airlines miles for an American Airlines flight. And the beautiful thing about booking a true business class seat as compared to a domestic first class seat is that you would get access to American Airlines flagship first class lounge. So if you happen to be flying out of either New York or Los Angeles, go to this lounge over a Centurion lounge or a Sapphire lounge, because not only will you not get rejected when you go to this lounge, but it's also going to end up being way more options when it comes to food and amenities. Now, I know there's probably a few people at this point in the video who are thinking, okay, JP, you sold me. I'm a domestic traveler who lives at an American Airlines hub. I want to be able to redeem Alaskan Airlines miles for my American Airlines flights. How do I go about earning Alaskan Airlines miles? Well, there's going to end up being a few ways to be able to do that. Obviously, there's the old-fashioned way of just flying with Alaskan Airlines, but you also could end up using Alaskan Airlines shopping portal or their dining program. But the fastest way to earn Alaskan Airlines miles is going to be by getting different credit cards. Now, there are currently a couple different Alaskan Airlines cards. You have the personal card and the business card. And honestly, if you like to fly with Alaskan Airlines, these aren't bad cards to have. However, these cards aren't going to be the first ones I'd recommend to get, due to the fact that there are other cards out there that earn Alaskan Airlines miles. Now, for those of you who don't follow aviation news very closely, Alaskan Airlines bought Hawaiian Airlines. And when they did, they said that there was going to be an easy way to be able to transfer over your Hawaiian Airlines miles to your Alaskan Airlines account. And just a few months ago, they made this ability between the two accounts to be able to transfer live. So if you end up having Hawaiian Airlines miles, you can transfer them over to your Alaskan Airlines account at a 1-to-1 ratio. Because of this, I would say you should actually wait to get these Alaskan Airlines cards and instead get the Hawaiian Airlines personal card and the Hawaiian Airlines business card. Now, I don't think that these cards are as good as the Alaskan Airlines cards. However, these cards will at some point go away. So because of that, it'd be better to get these cards first before they go away, and then after, get the Alaskan Airlines cards. Because this way you could earn the welcome offer from both the business and personal card, and then you could link the two accounts, your Hawaiian Airlines account and your Alaskan Airlines account, and then just move all of your Hawaiian Airlines miles to your Alaskan Airlines account at a 1-to-1 ratio, giving you way more Alaskan Airlines miles. I'm not sure how much longer these cards are going to be available to apply for, but I would say that if you were sold on Alaskan Airlines miles, then these are going to be cards you're going to want to get. Now, there is also the backdoor way with American Express to get Alaskan Airlines miles, and I'm going to go over that right now. So how the backdoor trick works is this. Although Alaskan Airlines is not a transfer partner of American Express, Hawaiian Airlines is. So the same way that you could earn Hawaiian Airlines miles with getting the Hawaiian Airlines credit card and then just transfer it over to your Alaskan Airlines account, well, what you could do is have your American Express membership reward points transfer over to your Hawaiian Airlines account, and then from there, transfer over your Hawaiian Airlines miles over to your Alaskan Airlines account. So pretty much at this time, Alaskan Airlines is a transfer partner of American Express, just not directly. You have to transfer over to Hawaiian, and then from Hawaiian, transfer over to your Alaskan account. This is an incredible backdoor transfer opportunity that probably won't last, because Alaskan Airlines, who is already partnered with Bank of America, has already said that they don't want to be a transfer partner of any of the big major banks. Sure, they are a transfer partner with Bilt Rewards, but Bilt Rewards isn't a bank. They're just partnered with Wells Fargo, who is the bank that funds Bilt Rewards. But because there was a contract beforehand with Hawaiian Airlines and American Express before Alaskan Airlines purchased Hawaiian Airlines, we get to benefit from that deal. But I do think that Alaskan Airlines does want to end this contract because their miles are really valuable. And every single time we transfer over our American Express membership reward points over to our Hawaiian account and then to our Alaskan account, I think that Alaska may end up losing money because Hawaiian airline miles aren't as valuable as Alaskan airline miles, yet American Express has a deal set up for purchasing Hawaiian Airlines miles and then reselling them for Alaskan Airlines miles. So at this rate, I don't think that Alaskan Airlines can win. If they did end up renegotiating the contract, then obviously it could end up making more sense for Alaskan Airlines. But I do think that the way it is right now, that it isn't really beneficial for Alaskan Airlines. I guess it could really more come down to how we as the consumer redeem our Alaskan Airlines miles. But Alaskan Airlines did promise the Department of Transportation that they weren't going to devalue their miles during this merger. So if they do end up keeping this promise, that just ends up being fantastic for us. Now, there is one thing to note about when you are transferring over your American Express membership reward points to a domestic airline. For some weird reason, they add a tax onto a transfer to the domestic airlines that caps out at $100. So if you do want to transfer over your membership reward points to your Hawaiian Airlines account to then transfer over to your Alaskan Airlines account, it'd be wise to do it as a big transfer just so that you don't have to end up paying this tax every single time you decide to transfer over to your Hawaiian Airlines account. But because of how valuable Alaskan Airlines miles are, I'm someone who's gotten both their personal and business card. I've also gotten both the personal and business card with Hawaiian Airlines. Plus, I've transferred over many hundreds of thousands of my American Express membership reward points to my Hawaiian Airlines account to then transfer over to my Alaskan Airlines account. So I'm not someone who's just saying that all of this stuff is a possibility. I'm someone who's taken full advantage of this. I have hundreds of thousands of Alaskan Airlines miles already deployed for future trips, and I currently have close to about 500,000 Alaskan Airlines miles just sitting in my Alaskan Airlines account. Now, I'm in no way recommending anyone to go as hard as I did with this. There could be a devaluation with Alaskan Airlines miles, or American Airlines could end up pulling a lot of their different award space to their partners. I'm only revealing this information to let you know how bullish I am of Alaskan Airlines miles. There's actually a blogger who went even harder than I did with this. He transferred 1 million American Express membership reward points to his Hawaiian Airlines account back when they had a transfer bonus in September, before the merger was even 100% completed, just because he knew that when he was gonna get the ability to convert his Hawaiian Airlines miles into Alaskan Airlines miles, how valuable they'd end up being. And he knew that an opportunity like this, especially with a transfer bonus, would be unlikely to come around again. Now again, I'm not trying to tell anyone to go all in with Alaskan Airlines. But what I am saying is that normally they say that you shouldn't speculatively transfer in the points and miles world. But if there was one time where it could make sense, if you happen to have an abundance of American Express membership reward points, transfer them over to your Hawaiian Airlines account to then transfer over to your Alaska Airlines account can definitely end up being really beneficial for you. Because whether you like to fly internationally or domestically, there's going to end up being good deals with Alaska Airlines miles. If you only fly domestically, you can be able to redeem your Alaska Airlines miles either for Alaska Airlines flights, Hawaiian Airlines flights, or American Airlines flights. And all of these flights would be booked with an award chart, which typically ends up giving you a better deal as compared to dynamic pricing. And if you are someone who does want to travel internationally, then there's even more value that you can get with your Alaska Airlines miles. If you wanted to fly from the east coast of the US over to Dublin, Ireland, well, you could do that in economy for 22,500 Alaskan Airlines miles or 45,000 Alaskan Airlines miles in business class. If you want to fly over to Frankfurt, Germany, you could do that for 27,500 miles for economy or 55,000 miles in business class. And if you want to fly over to Taipei, Taiwan, you could do that with Starlux, which is one of the best business classes in the world, for 75,000 Alaskan Airlines miles. If you want to continue on over to other parts of Southeast Asia, you could do that for just an additional 10,000 Alaskan Airlines miles. Alaskan Airlines miles, in my opinion, are the second best miles out there. I still think that American Airlines miles are number one due to how many outsized value opportunities there are, but when you look at Alaskan Airlines miles, there is a good argument for saying that they are number one miles due to the ability to get a free stopover. They also have it that when you are redeeming your miles, it's going to help you work towards getting elite status with Alaskan Airlines, which is something that very few other airlines offer. Typically, you have to be spending money to earn status, but with Alaskan Airlines, you could be redeeming your miles to be able to climb up the Alaskan Airlines status ladder. But whether you want to put American Airlines as number one or Alaskan Airlines as number one, there's no question that Alaskan Airlines miles are significantly easier to earn right now as compared to American Airlines miles. So because of that, although American Airlines miles may end up being slightly more valuable, well, it makes more sense to just go after Alaskan Airlines miles because they can end up doing so much, and at this moment, they're not very hard to come by. There really are so many great things that you can do with Alaskan Airlines miles, and they're only promising to get better. Like with the free stopover, at the moment you could only book that with one airline the entire way, but they said that as of 2025, at some point, they're going to make it so that it's going to be able to book a free stopover with multiple different partners within the Alaskan Airlines program. That is going to make booking international travel with Alaskan Airlines miles absolutely incredible. And again, I'm not saying that you should be transferring all of your American Express membership reward points over to your Hawaiian Airlines account to then transfer over to your Alaskan Airlines account, but I do think that it could make sense to transfer at least some of your American Express membership reward points over to your Hawaiian Airlines account to then get over to your Alaskan Airlines account. Alaskan Airlines website is also super easy to navigate and find award flights. And anytime a website is easy to navigate and find award flights, people end up booking awards. So go get yourself some Alaskan Airlines miles and book yourself an awesome adventure. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment section down below, what are your thoughts about Alaskan Airlines miles? Are you going hard in the paint with getting Alaskan Airlines miles like myself, or are you kind of shying away from it because you think that the flood of all these Alaskan Airlines miles may end up come with a devaluation sometime in the near future? If you happen to have any questions, you can drop them down in the comment section down below and I'll do the best I can to answer it. If you want to become a points and miles booking expert, go to Points Travel 101 and purchase my course. I promise you, after you end up going through my course, you will not be scared to make award bookings anymore. And if you happen to be interested in any cards, check in my description box to learn more. If you do decide to use any of my links, it does really help out the channel, and I'll be incredibly thankful for your support. And if you happen to really like this video, do me a favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this video, and have a beautiful rest of your day.